So we're at the end of our month of love. We have explored matters of the heart this month, a variety of matters of the heart. We have looked at the heart of divine love. We have gotten to the heart of our dreams. Last week we realigned our hearts with Source, and it's all been beautiful and I think exciting and wonderful. And today we're going to wrap it all together in a beautiful, exciting experience. And I underscore the word experience because you're going to have some experiences today that I know will be a blessing and a benefit to all of us. So today we're going to get to the heart of healing. That's the title, the heart of healing. But it has actually two clarifying subtitles. So it's not really the heart of healing. It's the heart of wholing, WHOLING. Or, even said in a better way, the heart of revealing wholeness. Because that's truly what we teach in our Science of Mind principles, that there is nothing to heal. There is only God's wholeness to reveal. Ernest Holmes says in the textbook at page 212, healing is not creating a perfect idea or a perfect body. It is revealing an idea which is already perfect. There's a big difference between thinking we have to heal something and knowing it is just our job to open ourselves up to allow the wholeness that is already there to be revealed. Right? You got that big difference, don't you? Today we're going to explore that big difference. It is my intention when I thought about today and created today that the focus would be specifically on physical issues. Because if you've got something going on in your physical body, this is the perfect day for you to be here. But it's not just physical. If there's anything in the body of your affairs that maybe is a little out of sync, that could use some holing, that could use some revealing of its wholeness, this is the day that we are going to do it. So to begin the experiential part of it, I want us to set an intention. All right? Are you ready to set an intention? All right. So if this applies to you, I mean, it may not, but my guess is you're human, right? You are human. Yes, you're living in a human body. You're having human experiences. Maybe, yeah. Some of us not, I know. A few of us are from somewhere else, but most of us are human. We may have something going on, whether it's in this physical temple of the divine or whether it's in the body of our affairs. So here is the intention that I invite us to set with conviction and with absolute, with conviction. And so I'll say it first, and then we'll say it together. Here it is. I set the intention to reveal wholeness in my body and in the body of my affairs today. Okay, got it? Want me to say it one more time just so you get it? Let me say it one more time, and then we'll do it together. I set the intention to reveal wholeness in my body and in the body of my affairs today. I set my intention to reveal wholeness in my body and in the body of my affairs today. Amen, sister. Preach it. Yeah. So you've done something really powerful right now. Really powerful. You did two things. Number one, you spoke an intention with conviction. Hugely powerful. The second thing you did, you spoke your intention with conviction in community. Very powerful. Today we're going to talk about the conviction we have to show up around revealing our wholeness and the power of doing that in community, and then we'll have an opportunity to actually do that. So that's where we're going to go today. Strap in, hold on, because we got a lot to cover, and here we go. So, power of conviction. So first of all, what is conviction exactly? Well, yeah, right. I love that. Mary Beth's like, it's this. Yes, conviction is meaning that we're convinced of the effectiveness of something, right? I have conviction that works, that applies, that is going to have an impact, and that's what I'm wanting here, that we have a conviction, a belief that what we're doing here will make a difference in our experience. And what I can tell you is that when we practice, and I'm going to give you four ideas, 4 guidelines to practice with conviction to support the revealing of physical wholeness in your body or of wholeness in the body of your affairs. When we practice them with a knowing, a conviction that they are in fact effective, they will be effective. I've seen it happen again and again and again and again. So, number 1, you may not hear anything new today, but the question is, have you applied it in an area that could use it? You know, it's easy to practice this stuff when we don't have an issue, right? When we have an issue, it gets a lot harder. What is that? Why is that? But that's when we need to do it. So, guideline number one, practice number one is to look for what is working. Look for what is working, not what is not working. I'll never forget an article I read in the Guideposts magazine, which is a magazine been around forever and ever. Guidepost magazine, it's filled with stories of answered prayer and inspiration and lives transformed. Beautiful magazine. I read this story decades ago. And I don't remember the whole story, but I remember the beginning of it and the path that got set by this experience. There was a woman in the hospital, elderly woman, body riddled, filled with arthritis, and she was in pain. She was in pain from head to toe. And it was night, and she was trying to sleep, and the drugs weren't putting her to sleep. She could not sleep because she was in such pain. And she turned to that one thing she knew to do, which was to pray. And I don't know what kind of prayer she did. I don't know if it was a New Thought prayer. It doesn't matter. All prayer is powerful. So she prayed. And at the end of her prayer, she got something that we often get, which is a thought, an idea. And hers was actually a question. I've had that experience. A powerful question follows a prayer. And the question that followed her prayer was this: is there any place in your body that doesn't hurt? And she thought for a minute, and she did a body scan, and pretty much all of it hurt. But then she realized that there was one place, right here, her pinky finger did not hurt. The next thought came: focus on that. And so she said, okay. There is the one place in my body that doesn't hurt, and here it is. And so her attention, her focus went on that place, and she fell asleep. And that began a journey of healing for her. The more she focused on what worked, what didn't hurt, what felt good, the more things started feeling good. And then she focused on them. The more she focused on what felt good and worked in her body, the more her body worked and felt good. And it was a journey, that was the beginning of her journey of returning to her wholeness. So my question for you this morning is, if you are having a physical challenge or a challenge in your life, however it might look, how much time are you focusing on what works versus how much time are you focusing on what isn't working? Don't answer that. It's a rhetorical question. But I invite you to make the vast majority of your time focusing on what works. And if it's a physical issue, whatever that physical issue is, think about all the other ways that your body is functioning perfectly, that it is doing exactly what it is supposed to do, that pattern of perfection that is you at your core is working and operating in complete perfection. Focus on that. In the body of your affairs, there may be a challenge with a relationship, with finances, with whatever, job, whatever. There's a lot that is working in your life. Focus on what is working. That's guideline number one that returns us to wholeness. Guideline number two relates to this, takes it a step further, and I want to give you some science behind it. We love it when our science and spirituality, right? Ernest Holmes loved that, when our science and spirituality blends together. Yes, as does Greg Braden. No, sorry. I said his name in first service, and I didn't have my choir as much. I only had a couple, but I had the full choir here, which is why I had to say his name. All right. If you don't know what that's about, it doesn't matter at this point. Stand vigilant in your thought about your wholeness. Stand vigilant in your thoughts about your wholeness. Ralph Waldo Emerson said one of the greatest lines: stand guard the portals of your mind. And don't let anything in there that doesn't support you and serve you. In a wonderful book called Health is Our Birthright by Dr. Ellen Jensen, which is a book of case studies after years and years of practice by this medical doctor, she wrote, "The body is a magnificent creation of God. It comes equipped with an innate intelligence and powerful energy to heal itself when given the opportunity. Keeping the mind free of debilitating thoughts is necessary to access this energy and intelligence. Feelings such as guilt, worry, fear, or anger can drain us of vital energy so that is so essential for a high quality of health and life." Science is showing us that thoughts, depressive thoughts, angry thoughts, fearful thoughts, guilt-ridden thoughts, all those kind of thoughts that sometimes want to hang out in our heads actually suppress our immune system. Dr. William Tiller, whose name might sound familiar to you, if it doesn't, you might recognize it when I say that he was at one of the many beautiful people featured in the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? Remember What the Bleep Do We Know? That set some folks on their spiritual path. That was a great movie of blending science and spirituality. Anyway, Dr. William Tiller in 1979 showed the American Medical Association, no easy task, to prove to them that when we have thoughts of negativity and low energy, low power, low, angry, those kind of thoughts, that our immune system is suppressed. When we have thoughts of liveliness, aliveness, vitality, energy, wholeness, happiness, joy, we could call those God thoughts. When we have God thoughts, our immune system is enhanced. With an enhanced immune system, our bodies are healthier. With a suppressed immune system, they are not. What we think makes a big difference in how our body, our physical body and the body of our affairs lives and exists. But we know that as Science of Minders, don't we? We know that. I mean, the quote out of the Science of Mind textbook that my mentor, Dr. Leonard Minks, told me when I became a minister, like the first 5 minutes of him being my mentor as a minister, he said, if you memorize nothing else in the Science of Mind textbook but this quote, that will be enough. The quote, by the way, is on page 29, at the bottom of 29, moving to the top of page 30, and it goes like this. Some of you know it because I've invited you to memorize it too. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. For our thoughts go into a medium which is infinite in its ability to do and to be. We, by thinking, can bring into our experience that which we desire. Okay, now I have to go to... Here we go. If we think correctly and become a living embodiment of our thoughts, this is not done by holding thoughts, but by knowing the truth. So what is the truth for us to know in regard to our physical vitality and well-being? Well, the truth about that to know is that God does not have health to give us. God is our health. God does not have vitality to give us. God is our vitality. God does not have wholeness to give us. God is our wholeness. God does not have anything to give us when we get on our knees and beg in prayer. But God is everything, which we only need to open up to accept through prayer. Does that make sense? That's the truth that Ernest Holmes is talking about. It is not done by holding thoughts, but it is done by knowing the truth and keeping our thoughts vigilant on that. Holmes says we will deliver ourselves from sickness and trouble in the exact proportion to our discovery of ourselves and our true relationship to the whole. So you got a theme going on here, right? There is nothing to heal, only wholeness to reveal. Number 3. Begin, if you don't already have it, ramp it up if you do have it. A regular prayer practice. If you do not pray regularly for acceptance, not to beg God to give you something, but to accept that which already is, if you do not have a regular prayer practice already, today is the day to commit to starting that. We have a beautiful form of prayer we call spiritual mind treatment in Science of Mind. It's not the only way to pray. It's not the right way to pray, but it's a powerful way to pray that opens us up to accept that which already is. Have an active prayer life. Ernest writes, mental or spiritual treatment should bring into actual manifestation the health and happiness which is our normal and divine heritage. Treatment incorporates a conscious recognition that health has always been ours, abundance has always been ours, happiness and peace have always been ours. They are ours now, for they are the very essence and truth of our being. Now, if you can't get there, if you can't get in prayerful place and absolutely know that that is who and what you are, then we have these amazing beings of light called spiritual life coaches, otherwise traditionally called practitioners. We call them spiritual life coaches, who have spent at least 4 years in study, in deep personal growth, and then in study as to how to be with someone in prayer and to see through whatever the facade is and see their truth and claim it and call it forth. We're going to have an experience of them in a little bit. I know some of you had that last week when we had this. Yeah, did you like spiritual speed dating? Mary Beth liked the speed dating. That's good. Excellent, excellent. We've got another chance to kind of speed date with them today, if you so desire. All right, number 4, act as though you were whole, perfect, complete, and filled with divine energy. Act as though you are whole, complete, and filled with divine energy to the absolute best that you can, given whatever is going on, if in fact it is a physical issue. Whatever might be going on may prevent you from, let's just say, I don't know, running a 10K. Maybe you're not in a... Couldn't do it. I'm pretty healthy, and I'm very healthy, and that's not for me right now. But it could be that wherever you are in your physicality, you're not prepared and ready to run a 10K. But you could absolutely take a walk to the block, down into the block, and come back. That could very much support your vitality and aliveness. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Do all that you can with what you have where you are. I did a little survey. It wasn't really a survey. I just said in first service. I think Mike Dooley said that. I think I remember hearing that on a Mike Dooley tape. And I think I did hear it on a Mike Dooley tape. But I love those of you who have your little phones and really quick, run on Google and check where it came from. You know who actually coined that phrase? I would never have known this. Theodore Roosevelt. Theodore Roosevelt coined that phrase. Who knew he said that? Do all you can with what you have where you are. Isn't that beautiful? He was a pretty insightful guy. Should have been president. Yeah. So that's your mission. Those are your 4 guidelines for revealing your wholeness, for getting to the heart of revealing your wholeness. Number 1, look for what is working. Number 2, stand vigil with thoughts of wholeness. Number 3, ramp up your spiritual prayer work and get the services and love and support of a spiritual life coach if that feels like the right thing for you to do, and it is the right thing for all of us to do, actually. And number 4, do everything you can with what you have, moving forward, acting as if in the highest way that you can. Those are our 4 ideas this morning that I wanted to get into us. But I also want to talk about the power of community. The power of community to heal. Community is powerful for lots of reasons, but to reveal the power of community is incredibly, incredibly important. Did you know that a tadpole, you probably know this about tadpoles, they actually they're pretty nifty little creatures. They can regenerate. If there's an injured part of their body, they can actually regenerate. If their little foot comes off, they can regenerate a new foot. Did you know that? That's pretty amazing, those little guys. They can do that. But zoologists have discovered that if a tadpole is in isolation, if he's by himself, it will take a very long time for him to regenerate an injured part of his body. But if he even has any sense that he is in community, so if he's in even a relatively close space with other tadpoles, the wording on this scientific study was it heals miraculously fast. Who knew? Tadpoles. Mice. A study was done at the University of Chicago of mice. Mice who were raised by themselves and raised in community. Everything else was exactly the same. They ate the same. They were treated the same, exactly the same. But one was alone and another one was with community. The one in community grew exponentially faster than the one by himself. Studies have been done on human beings. And there is a particular thing that is vitally important to the wholeness and wellness of human beings. And I'm going to give you a little story about it, and then we'll see what it is. And then I'll give you the science behind it. No moving parts, no batteries, no monthly payments, and no fees. Inflation-proof, non-taxable. In fact, it's quite relaxable. It can't be stolen. It won't pollute. One size fits all. Do not dilute. It uses little energy but yields results enormously, relieves your tension and your stress, invigorates your happiness, combats depression, makes you beam, and elevates your self-esteem. Your circulation, it corrects without unpleasant side effects. It is, I think, the perfect drug. May I prescribe my friend a hug? Who would have known? Here's some science behind that little poem. There was an experiment done with human beings, and they were all the people in the experiment were exposed to cold germs. They were all exposed to the same cold germs. Then some of them were left in isolation, and then some of them said go socialize with each other. They all had been exposed to the cold germ. Go hug each other. Guess who didn't get the cold? The people who were socializing and hugging. So it gives me more confirmation when somebody comes up to me, and it happens all the time through the line, I'm not going to kiss you or hug you today because I have a cold. I always say, I'm not receiving colds. But I am receiving hugs, right? So take it. Yeah. There was another study that found in younger women, the more hugs they got, the lower their blood pressure. And in premenopausal women, there was a study that showed those who had the most hugs had reduced heart rates. Oh, so that's, look it up. Yeah, go ahead. Find somebody right now and just give them a little hug. There. Oh, I have lost control. I have totally lost control. Having look. That was so cute. Having a strong community supports your health and your vitality. This is a strong community already, and we are getting ready. We're on the brink of launching some very exciting things to help us be an even stronger community, an even more vibrant community. That's why we've changed our congregational song, because that song, I'm pointing to the screen that you can't see anymore, but that screen that's right there, that has the lyrics of the song right there. That's about community. When I'm walking with you, I'm walking with God. When I'm talking with you, when I'm singing with you, when I'm praying with you, when I'm in the arms of a friend, that's community. We're experiencing and expressing God. We're going to launch a program very soon about all of this. And if you want to hear about it, come to our annual meeting, because that's where we're going to relate. I don't have time to tell you all about it now. Come to the annual meeting at 1 o'clock. Go to the potluck, come back at 1 o'clock, and you will hear all about it. But for now, I want us to do three things. We're going to do three things to support the revealing of our wholeness, to get to the heart of our wholeness. The first thing is we are going to do a heart-brain coherence exercise that's from Heart Math, but we all learned it back in May when Greg Braden, thank you. So you're all on notice. Whenever his name is mentioned, you're supposed to be a choir of angels. And that just supports my deep, passionate, spiritual love of Greg Braden. That's what that is. Oh, he said it again. Right. All right. So anyway, he's the one who taught us when he was here in his workshop. But this is Heart Math. Greg didn't make this up. It's Heart Math. And it's a 2-minute process of connecting the brain cells of the brain and the brain cells, the same cells that are physically in our heart. Our heart, literally, physically, physiologically has the same cells in it, not as many, but a large cluster of brain cells. And when we do this simple little meditation, it connects and makes coherence between there and here, and that activates revealing of our wholeness. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to create this beautiful field in here and in here. And then after that, I'm going to invite up our spiritual life coaches and ministers to either come here or go to the back. And I'll be included in this. And we're going to be available to pray with you. So we're just going to take a couple of minutes. We won't spend a long time on this, but to invite anybody forward or to the back who wants a prayer. What we ask is that you laser focus, tell us what your prayer request is. Laser focus, like in one sentence. And we will do a prayer for you in the moment right now. And after that, third thing. So first thing is heart-brain coherence. Second thing is get a prayer. The third thing is, from that spiritual life coach or minister, before you walk away, get a hug. Exactly. So if you will, close your eyes. And yes, take a deep breath. I heard that happening, but take a nice deep breath. The heart-brain coherence meditation has 3 parts to it. The first part is that we turn our attention to our physical heart, the place in our body where our heart is. And if it helps you to turn your attention there and to keep your attention there, if it helps to do that by putting your hand right there in the center point of your chest, do that. It helps me keep my focus there. That's step 1. Step 2 is simply to slow down your breathing. Consciously, intentionally slow it down. Perhaps to 5 counts out, 5 counts in. 5 counts out, 5 counts in. So with attention on the heart, breath slowed down, which is sending a signal to your body that you are safe. For the next few minutes, I'll time it. Feel, to the best of your ability, care, compassion, appreciation, gratitude. Care, compassion, appreciation, gratitude. Care, compassion, appreciation, gratitude. Care, compassion, appreciation, gratitude. And take a nice deep breath. Going to invite our spiritual life coaches and ministers forward or to the back. And once they get in place, anyone who would like to receive a prayer today may do so. If you are seated, please stay in a prayerful place. Do your own prayer work. And you may begin coming forward. and in faith, in trust, and in truth, we seal each and every one of these prayers and open ourselves to the gifts that are ours to receive. The amazing, beautiful gifts of God's wholeness. And so it is.